From the outside, Adeze looked like the kind of wife every man prayed for. She had the beauty, soft skin, white eyes that always looked innocent, and the kind of smile that could quiet a man's suspicion before it even formed. She was calm too, the type that always served juice in a tray with coasters, never raised her voice, and knew when to sigh instead of argue. Even when Zoba's offshore work took him away for weeks, Adeze always kept the house neat and herself even neater. They had been married for barely 5 months when Adeze came to him one evening while he was packing for Bonny Island. Zoba, she said softly, touching his back. I know you don't like the house being too busy, but this place is too quiet when you're gone. He didn't look up immediately. What do you mean? I was thinking, she said gently, can my younger sister come stay with me? Just for company. It's so lonely here and I'm not used to all this silence. Zoba hesitated, but he was also a firstborn, the kind raised to provide, not protest. Besides, he had met Chinaza once. She was polite, slim, and very respectful. What harm could she do? All right, he said finally, if that will make you feel better. Adesi smiled, kissed him on the shoulder, and whispered, thank you, like it was a huge favor. 2 weeks later, Chinaza arrived from the village, quiet, eager, and excitedly ready to take up her new role as her elder sister's personal assistant and confidant. She greeted her with bent knees and washed her hands before helping Adeze in the kitchen. Things moved smoothly at first. Chinaza was good, respectful, and hardworking. She cleaned, ran errands, and even ironed Zoba's shirts without even asking. When Zoba was around, everyone got along. When he left for work, Adeze sent updates with selfies and the occasional message. We miss you. Chinaza made okra today. But something strange began to happen. Zoba had a habit, one of those quiet habits that nobody noticed but him. He arranged his money in his wallet in order of denomination. 1,000 naira notes at the back, 500 in the middle, 200 naira and 100 naira in front. He did it subconsciously. It helped him know when money was missing. One day, just before leaving for Port Harcourt, he opened the wallet and paused. The order was wrong. One 1,000 naira note had disappeared and remaining cash looked like someone had shuffled through it. He frowned. Maybe he'd forgotten something. Maybe he had stopped by to buy something and forgot. Offshore work could be mentally draining. He let it go until it happened again. Then again. Then, during one of his visits home, he opened his drawer where he usually kept a backup stash, 80,000 naira sealed in an envelope, and found only 30,000 naira remaining. This time he didn't keep quiet. At the dinner table that night, with a plate of yam porridge in front of him, Zoba cleared his throat. Did anyone touch the drawer in our room? He asked quietly. Chinaza looked up at first. Her spoon paused mid-air. Ha! No, she said quietly. Adeze looked confused. Why? I kept money there and it's missing. There was silence. Zoba watched them carefully. Chinaza's hands trembled slightly. Adeze reached for her cup of water. You didn't tell me you kept money there, oh, Adeze said softly. I didn't think I had to. Chinaza's eye widened. Brother, I didn't touch any money, I swear. Adeze let out a small sigh. So what are you saying now? That is me? I'm not saying anything yet, Zoba replied, rubbing his temples. After dinner that day, Adeze came into his room and sat beside him. She didn't yell. She didn't even sound angry. She only looked tired. Zoba, let's be honest. Things were fine before Chinaza came. Now, you're complaining of money missing almost every time. She says she didn't take it, but how can we know? Should we wait until something bigger disappears before we now take a decision? Zoba didn't reply. She's my sister, but even me, I don't like this tension. If we keep quiet, it will happen again and again. So what do you want me to do? Adeze shrugged. Just tell her to go back. Peace is better than suspicion. By the weekend, Chinaza was packing her small bag. She didn't cry, though her eyes were very red. Zoba felt something. Before she left, she stopped by the door and whispered, Uncle Zoba, I didn't take your money. I'm not the one. God sees me. Zoba nodded. He wanted to believe her, but silence can be louder than denial. After Chinaza left, everything went back to normal for a while. Adeze cooked with fresh tomatoes again. She played soft music while mopping the house. She sent Zoba pictures of her new hairstyle and smiled more often on video calls. Then one day, she said, This house is too quiet again. Maybe we should get a maid. Zoba was hesitant. We don't need a maid now. You're here and you're doing well. I know, but it's not even about housework. I just want company. This place is too lonely. I need someone to talk to while you're away. He sighed. All right, if that's what you want. The maid came. Blessing. She arrived a week later. She was smallish, soft-spoken, and looked like she had just turned 20. Adeze supervised her closely. For the first weeks, everything was smooth. Then it started happening again. Zoba returned from offshore and noticed that his perfume, the expensive one his brother got from Dubai, was missing from his bag. He looked around, searched everywhere, yet nothing. Then another week, his 20,000 naira that he dropped inside his wallet disappeared. He asked Adeze, who looked shocked. I also noticed that my silver earrings are missing too, she said. This Blessing, are you sure we got the right person? They called Blessing. She stood in the center of the living room barefoot, eyes already filled with tears. Sir, I didn't take anything, please. I didn't take anything. Zoba stared at her for a long time. Something about the way she was crying. It wasn't the cry of guilt, it was the cry of fear. Adeze folded her arms. What else are we supposed to do, eh? She was fired that evening. Another person gone. Zoba felt something. Not guilt exactly. Just a strange emptiness. The house was quiet again. One weekend, an old school friend of Zoba's came to visit from Enugu. Tony. He was loud, cheerful, and full of gist. He stayed for 2 nights and left early on a Monday morning. Later that afternoon, Zoba opened the brown envelope he had left hidden under a stash of documents. 150,000 naira in fresh notes meant for some furniture work was gone. His heart started racing. He walked out to the living room. Adeze was eating cashew nuts on the sofa, watching a crime series. Did you see the brown envelope on my table? Ha, brown envelope? No, she said, not looking up. It's gone, no. She blinked, then slowly put the cashew bowl down. You're not thinking? I'm asking, no. She folded her arms. Tony slept in that room. Maybe he saw it. Zoba didn't want to believe it. Tony, his childhood friend, he made a call. Guy, did you take anything from my room before leaving? Tony went quiet. Zoba, is this a joke? I'm serious. I didn't take a kobo from your house. I can't believe you'd ask me that. Tony hung up. They never spoke again. And Zoba started to change. He stopped hiding money in the house. He became quieter, more withdrawn. Adeze noticed. Why are you always tense these days? She asked one night, rubbing lotion into her hands. You barely sleep. You barely talk. He didn't answer. Something in his heart had shut down. And then, 3 months later, something unexpected happened. Adeze's elder sister, Uju, came to Abuja for a wedding and called last minute to say she would love to stop by and spend the night with her 5-year-old son, Sumtu. Zoba welcomed them warmly. He had always liked Uju. Practical, cheerful, no drama. They laughed, ate, and played Ludo till midnight. Sumtu slept in the guest room with his mom. Everything seemed normal until the next morning. Uju knocked on the bedroom door. Zoba, Adeze, please. Did any of you move my gold bracelet? It was inside my purse. And some cash also. They are missing. Adeze frowned. Ha, bracelet. I put it in my bag last night. Now it's gone. Zoba's chest tightened again. I help you check, Adeze offered quickly. While they searched the room, Somto wandered in, still rubbing his eyes. Mommy, he said softly, why did Auntie Adaeze come to your bag last night when I was sleeping? The whole room froze. Zoba turned slowly. What did you say? Somto looked up innocently. I woke up a little and saw her. She was holding your purse, but I was sleepy, so I just went back. Uju's mouth hung open. Adese's face turned pale. Zoba said nothing. He just sat down like a man who finally understood a riddle that had been twisting his mind for over a year. The house was quiet. Not the peaceful kind, the kind that holds its breath. Uju was still standing near the door. Her bag was dangling from one of her shoulders. And you could see the tightness in her jaw. That one kind of silence where even breathing felt like you were interrupting something holy. Sumter was on the floor dragging his toy car like nothing had happened. The same mouth that threw a grenade into the room was now humming Baby Shark. And Zoba just sat there. He wasn't looking at Uju. He wasn't looking at Adaeze either. His eyes were on the wall, but his mind had traveled. You could tell. He had that look of a man who had just been handed a map to every lie he didn't know he was living with. You see, sometimes it's not the big accusations that expose the truth. It's a careless sentence, a name said too casually. And in that moment, everything started lining up. Chinaza's red eyes the day she stormed out. Blessing's trembling hands. Tony's voice rough and raw over the phone. Zoba, how can you say that kind of thing? Zoba had believed his wife. He had defended her. Even when his own spirit was confused, he'd looked the other way. Until now. Until one little boy with no malice, no agenda just said what he said. Pure, honest, dangerous. Adese sprang up, voice too sharp. Somto, shut up! What kind of rubbish are you saying? You must have been dreaming. Somto looked up, confused. No, auntie. I saw you. I woke up and I saw you holding my mommy's purse. Adeze laughed. A fake dry. Oh, okay. You mean when I went to return your mommy's earrings? I saw them on the dining table beside the jug. After dinner that night, Auntie Ju, you remember now? You left it beside the jug. She stammered. Her voice started to rise. Not from anger, but from panic. That trembling panic that tries to pretend is confidence. Uju didn't respond. She just turned her head and looked at her brother. Her eyes said, Zoba, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Adeze turned sharply. Auntie Ju, I swear, I would never touch your... It's okay, it's okay. Auntie Ju replied, but her heart was already outside. We'll go now, I beg, she said calmly. She held Somto's hand like it was the only thing that she trusted in that house. The door clicked behind her and the slap of that silence was louder than any shout. Adeze turned to Zoba slowly, like maybe he hadn't heard what just happened. Zoba, you know I didn't do that, right? He didn't answer. I don't know what that boy thinks he saw, but you know me. I've never stolen a thing from anyone, least of all from your sister. Still, he didn't say anything. She moved close and knelt beside him. Baby. That's when he looked at her, not like a man looking at his wife, but like someone trying to figure out how a stranger got into his house and lived with him all the while. I need to take a walk, he said quietly. She reached for him. He flinched. That flinch, that was the crack in the glass. Sola didn't take a walk. He drove. Abuja blurred past his window, but he wasn't seeing anything. His mind was somewhere else, somewhere darker. He remembered every time something small went missing. That 2,000 naira he thought he misplaced. His own perfume that somehow found its way onto her scarf. The same one she swore she hadn't worn. And how she let him accuse others. Let him carry that shame. Let others carry it too. And still came to bed like nothing had happened. He parked in front of a quiet church. Engine running, fingers clenched on the steering wheel. And after a long time, he made a decision. Not out of anger, but out of tiredness. For the next few days, Zoba became a different person. But not in the way people expected. He still kissed her. Still answered her text. Still smiled at the jokes she repeated 3 times. But something in him had gone quiet. Not silent, just quieter. He started locking his wardrobe. Stopped leaving his wallet out. He opened a new account in a bank she didn't know. And one night, as they sat eating together, he said it gently like he was talking about the weather. I'm starting another offshore rotation. Might be gone for a while. And Daisy smiled. That's fine. I'll manage. She thought she was still winning. Then came Chizoba's plan. Zoba had known for a while. He didn't say anything. He just watched. Because once you understand that someone close to you is capable of betrayal, something in your spirit adjusts. You start seeing the world not with suspicion, but with quiet confirmation, waiting for the time to strike. That's where Zoba was. And that was when the idea entered his chest like a whisper. Don't fight her. Just catch her red handed so she won't have any way to escape. So when he told that there's a one evening, let's go away for the weekend, it wasn't out of romance. It was all planned. And she fell for it. She smiled that type of smile that women smile when they think they've won. You're right, babe, she said. We need to reconnect. A lot of things have happened in our marriage. Zoma smiled back, but in his mind, things were already moving as planned. The next morning, Adese went to do her nails and hair, said she wanted to look fresh for the trip. Zoba didn't stop her. He simply called his friend, Dayo. He didn't talk much. Please, I want you to help me set up cameras in my house while I'm away with my wife. Please, make sure that the cameras are clear and that the footages are bright. Dayo didn't ask why. The trip to Kefi was smooth, too smooth. Adese took pictures of everything. The palm trees, the breakfast tray, even their feet under the duvet. She laughed louder, rubbed his back like forgiveness was cheap. Zoba played along. He allowed it. He even kissed her forehead by the pool. But deep down, he was miles away, already back home, already setting the final piece. Meanwhile, just as planned, Dayo had set the cameras all around the house, at the hallway, at the guest room, and all other places, about 5 cameras in all. They had tested it one night. The footage was crisp. It was working. Now, he just needed to give her rope so that when she jumped, it would be her legs that tied the knot. They came back on Sunday night. She carried their bag in with joy, humming one gospel tune that said, "We give you glory, Lord." Zoba just smiled. By Monday morning, he had sent Dayo another text. Please, can you come around tonight? Come with a very fine laptop. And please, if you can, to also come with some cash and act normal. Don't forget. Dayo arrived in the evening with the laptop and the stash of cash as instructed. At least he hugged him. Dayo. It's been long, oh. She brought him water and gave him food. She didn't know the house had already shifted against her. The boys gisted loudly and played video games in the sitting room. Around 9:30, Adese said she was tired and was retiring to bed. You guys should enjoy, she said sweetly, tying her rope. I'm going to bed. All right, they both said. She went upstairs. Meanwhile, Dayo had opened his laptop and left it on the center table. His wallet was on top. Crisp notes, half out, like accident, like bait. But it was all on purpose. Zoba crossed his legs, picked up the PlayStation pad. They started playing. But the real screen was the phone in Zoba's lap, showing highway footage live. Around 1:08 a.m., the house was silent. Even the fridge had stopped humming. It was just the sound of the game that was playing. And that's when she came. She was barefoot. Her wrapper held on to one side. She wasn't wearing earrings or makeup, just her bonnet. And like a woman and her old habits, she moved like smoke, passed through the hallway like she was looking for a phone charger. She paused, turned around to see if anyone was watching. She saw the laptop and the wallet. That was all she needed. She bent, picked the wallet, touched the laptop. Just as she was about to carry it up, Zoba spoke, not from the footage, from real life. Adese! Her hand froze. She didn't turn immediately. She stood up slowly like someone who just realized she was inside her own nightmare. Dayo, standing beside him, said, "What are you doing there? It's not what you think." Zoba's face didn't change. I said, "Drop that thing." She dropped the wallet quickly. Those eyes were hard now. Adesi started crying immediately. Zoba, please. I'm so sorry. I didn't even know. Will you stop the act? That was all he said. That night, Zoba couldn't sleep. He lay on his bed, eyes fixed on the ceiling. That had been his companion in silence. He watched the footage again on his phone, paused, replayed, stared. He wasn't even angry. He was just tired of being loyal to the wrong person, of letting her sin carry other people's names. In the morning, she woke up first, made fried plantain. She wore his favorite clothes, like nothing happened the other night. She even set the table. Zoba, your food is ready, she said sweetly. Zoba didn't answer her. Instead, he walked upstairs immediately, pulled out one small overnight bag inside, and packed her clothes slowly. Her wrapper, her hairnet, some of her dresses, and her favorite perfume. She even put her Bible into her bag. Then he came downstairs. When Adeze sighted the bag, her face furrowed. What is it, Zoba? What's going on? He didn't shout. Take this bag and get out of my house. Go to your auntie's place for now. She blinked. Why now? I thought I explained everything to you last night. I'm very sorry. I didn't know when I went in there. Please, save that story. You have to leave. At least we need that space. Go to your auntie's place for now. I will call you back when I'm ready. Please, I don't know why I do these things. I swear I can't change. I don't know what's wrong with me. But Zoba was done talking. She wept, loud, sloppy on the ground. But Zoba didn't touch her, didn't beg her to stand. When she left, when she finally left that evening, even the gateman didn't greet her. He just opened the gate slow and quiet and closed it back. The house became still. Not healed, just still. Zoba didn't tell anyone. He didn't gossip. He just moved around the house like a man sweeping away the last crumbs of something that had just overstayed. Then the message came 4 days later. Please, Zoba, I know I don't deserve to ask you, but I hope someday you'll call me to come back. I'll keep waiting for you. But Zoba didn't reply. He didn't delete the text either. He just let it sit like silence in a room that used to no noise. 4 Sundays later, he decided to call. She picked before the second ring. Zoba, she whispered. You can come back now, he said. But remember, things have changed between us. That afternoon, Adeze came back. She entered like someone unsure if the floor would still carry her. Zoba was in the parlor, reading his Bible, calm, whole. She stood there. I'm sorry about what I did. I didn't mean to hurt you. I've gone for therapy and I hope that I'll be a better person. Zoba looked at her. You know you didn't just steal money. You stole peace from this home. You made me look at good people with bad eyes. You made me lie for you with silence. For us to continue living, Zoba continued, there are conditions we will have to put in place. Listen well. There was silence on her end. Firstly, you attend therapy every week. I've already arranged for it, and you must make sure you don't skip it or pretend. If I find out you lied, that's the end. Secondly, you will no longer live as my wife in this house. You may cook, you may clean, but no more marriage talk. Not until I decide if I still recognize the woman I married. The third one, and the most important, you will never, ever, and I mean never, steal again. From me, from my family, from my friends, because if you do, he paused. If you ever do it again, I will not forgive you. I will make sure I get to the root of it and you face the necessary consequences. Her voice broke. Zoba, I understand and I will make you see that I'm a changed person for real. One more thing, he said that she wanted to work out. Remember, there are cameras all over this house and they are still watching you. She nodded again and turned slowly to climb the stairs. But this time, each step was quiet, like someone carrying shame in both hands. Days turned to weeks. There was no kisses, no holding hands in the kitchen. No, sweetheart, help me plug my phone. She cleaned and cooked, but moved like a guest. Zoba didn't even talk to her most of the times. Until one quiet evening, as she folded towards in the bedroom, he spoke. Have you been to therapy this week? She turned surprised. Yes, I've not missed therapy since I came. He smiled at her and passed. 1 month became 4, and 4 months became 8. And by the 12th month, not a single whisper of missing money or wandering fingers had been heard. Not from friends, not from visitors who came around, not from the maid, not even from Emeka, who now greeted her with a simple "Good afternoon, ma." The house healed slowly, not like a snapped bone, like a scar that no longer stings when touched. Zoba still watched, but less with suspicion this time, more with guarded hope. Then one Sunday morning, he picked his keys for church. Adesi came out quietly holding her Bible. Should I come with you? She asked. He looked at her, then nodded once. Let's go. There were no smiles, no holding hands, just two people walking, not towards a happy ending, but maybe a cleaner beginning. The end. Thank you so much for watching this story to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. That was how Zoba handled the situation. No, no slaps, no disgrace on Instagram, just sense and camera evidence. Because sometimes you don't need to raise your voice, just raise your standard. Adeze came back, not to celebrate, but with structures. She didn't return to hugs, she returned to boundaries, therapy, and a camera that reminded her that this house now comes with consequences. Well, the moral of this story is that sometimes it's good to forgive, but forgiveness without accountability is just rehearsal for the next betrayal. Also, some people don't change because you love them. They change because they are no longer allowed to misbehave in peace. Now let me ask you, my people, if you were in Zoba's shoes, would you have taken a thief wife back? Or would that footage have been the final straw for you? Please let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Let's gist about this story. And if you felt this one even just a little, don't forget to leave a comment. Share it with someone who needs to hear the story. Like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed for more interesting stories like this. Because here, we don't rush truth. We serve it slow, hot, and with sense. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.